Welcome to Vision Plus and welcome to the Center for Mathematics on Complex Numbers. We are now on example 5 under multiplication of complex numbers. And example 5 says if z1 is negative 2i plus 8, z2 is 6i plus 1, z3 is negative 3 minus 3i, find z1 times z2. If they have just said z1, z2, that is the implication for multiplication. So the solution to this example 5 is for part A, which is z1, z2. Let's substitute for z1. What is z1? Open the bracket because there are two terms. That is negative 2i plus 8 times z2. What is z2? Simply 6i plus 1. After that, then you go to the law of multiplication of brackets, where every term in each of the brackets multiply every other term in other brackets. So negative 2i times 6i. First of all, this is negative, this is positive. Negative times positive is negative. 2 times 6 is 12. I times I is I squared. And then again, these two goes to positive 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2i. It is negative 2i here. Now this 2i has multiplied the two terms in other brackets. Then you come to 8. Positive 8 times 6i. That is like positive 48i. 48i. Raise the calculator. And then 8i times, no, 8. 8 times 1 is 8. After that, you know that I squared is the same as negative 1. So here we shall have negative 12. What is I squared? I squared is negative 1. So in position of I squared, here we put negative 1 minus 2i. Let me add these two. What is negative 2i plus 48i? That will give us positive 46i and then plus 8. When we proceed here, we shall have negative 12 times negative 1 is positive 12 plus 48, not 48, plus 46i plus 8. Then you correct the right terms. 12 plus 18, 12 plus 8, that is simply 20, plus 46i. This is the solution for part A, which is z1 times z2. Without wasting time, let's go to part B, which says z2 times z3. What is the value for z2? z2 is given as 6i plus 1. But we are multiplying it by z3, which is negative 3 minus 3i. So on going here, we can say 6i times negative 3, that is negative 18i. Again, 6i times negative 3i, it is going to give us negative 18i squared. Simply because this is positive and this is negative. 6 times 3, 18. I times I is I squared. Then you go to 1. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Again, 1 times negative 3i, it still gives us negative 3i. Then we substitute that I squared equals to negative 1. So here we shall have negative 18i minus 18. But instead of I squared, we put 1 minus 3i. Then we collect the right terms. Here we have 18i. Negative 18i minus 3i. Negative 18i minus 3i. And then negative 1 times negative 18, here we shall have positive 18, and then minus 3. What is negative 18i minus 3i? Simply negative 21i. 18 minus 3, positive 15. So plus 15. That is the solution for part B. So for part C, which is z1 times z2 times z3, the choice is absolutely yours. Why? Because you have z1 times z2. z1 times z2 is already here. So you can just get this value, then you multiply it by z3. Or z2 times z3 is already here. z2, z3 is already there. So you can just get this value of z2 times z3, which is this. Then you multiply it by z1, which is here. So let me just separate, and I will separate in the format that z1 times z2, and then when we multiply it, just allow me to use times in this case, multiply by z3. But you know that z1, z2, we have already obtained it as 20 plus 46i. So here you just write here 20 plus 46i. This is z1, z2. And now you multiply by z3, which is negative 3 minus 3i. This would give us the answer. So when we continue here, we just follow the same rules. 20 times negative 3, that is negative 16. Again, 20 times negative 3i, that is negative 60i. Then you come to 48, 46i. 46i times negative 3, that is going to give us negative 138i. 138i. Press the calculator. And then again, 46i times negative 3i. Positive times negative is negative. 46 times 3, that is 138 still. I times I is I squared. But we know that I squared equals to negative 1. So we substitute for it. Equals to, this gives us a negative 60. Negative 60i minus 138i. That is like negative 198i. Negative 198i. Subtracting negative 60 minus 38i. Is that minus 138 here times I squared, which is negative 1. We have seen that negative 1 times negative 138 gives us positive. So here we shall have here negative 60 plus 138 minus 198i. What is negative 60 plus 138? It is just like 78. This is 78 plus minus 198i. And this is the solution for example 5 and